Hey guys, divergents and typicals. I'm going to talk a little bit about meltdowns and shutdowns. And to be honest, most of my experience is related to meltdowns. Although I have every once in a while a shutdown, it's much more often that I get meltdowns. So, what is my explanation for both of them and then for each of them separately? So, first of all, I think that a meltdown or a shutdown occurs when your nervous system just gives up. It just can't handle it anymore. It just so overstimulated that it either shuts down or you erupt completely in a neurotic breakdown. And in my opinion, that usually comes from overstimulation. And I've talked about um, like sensitivity and routines and social anxiety, and I think it all relates to overstimulation of the nervous system. It creates a lot of anxiety, and from there, a person can either shut themselves down or they can just erupt seemingly out of nowhere. Well, for the autistic person, it doesn't seem to come from nowhere. It might be unexpected, but if you start tracking yourself, you're going to be able to realize you're getting close to a meltdown or shutdown, and you might be able to prevent it. But, anyways, don't be so hard on yourself if you get into a meltdown or a shutdown because nothing is 100% preventable. And I've talked about control before, so you can't really have control over everything. For example, for myself, I typically get my meltdowns mostly from my noise sensitivity. I get it every once in a while from my routing being messed up, but this also very often relates to my sensitivity. And imagine if I haven't slept well because of noise, and there is also some fixing, or there is a construction site nearby, and probably I have to go to the shops, and there is all kind of traffic noise from people or wherever, and it just builds up and builds up and builds up. And at one point, if I have things to do, like a list to do, and I have to do it no matter what, like I have to go take the groceries no matter what, I might get into a meltdown. And it's not preventable. But you can find certain ways to actually decrease these episodes, and most importantly, you should start tracking yourself. And if you feel like you're getting close to a meltdown or shutdown, just stop whatever you're doing. Simply stop. Just give it up for a while. You're not giving it up at all, but just for a while, and stop and rethink your situation. Probably try to relax in some way. I don't know, maybe go out and take a walk, take a cold shower, just lay down a bit and breathe and try to think the situation over. And that's about it. As I said, it's not very easily preventable, just in a few cases, but just start tracking yourself. And another thing I would like to add is don't be so hard on yourself if you get into a meltdown or a shutdown, because that's gonna damage you even further. So, not only that you have experienced the most tremendous amount of stress that an autistic person can experience, but you're actually punishing yourself for having experienced that and having no fault whatsoever. It's just your nervous system giving up for a short period of time. And the best you can do is first, don't be so hard on yourself. And second, just go out in the world and do whatever things are gonna make you happy or whatever things are gonna make you feel accomplished. So doesn't matter if you're exhausted, because a lot of times meltdowns and shutdowns can lead to burnout, but I'm going to talk about burnouts in a later video. But one of the main things to do to go out of a burnout is to actually go and do stuff. Don't be lazy about it. That doesn't mean don't rest, but sometimes doing stuff is a better rest for the brain because it generates a lot of dopamine, it generates a lot of glutamate when you do work, and then it creates a lot of GABA, which calms you down. And I've talked about these things before, but just go out and break the cycle, because otherwise our recovery from meltdown can last for a week or even more. And this way you can probably handle it for a day or two or three at most. And plus, you're gonna get the hang of it and start doing this repeatedly if you get a meltdown or shutdown, and you'll be able to get out of the situation much faster. So yeah, that's about it for meltdowns and shutdowns for now. I'm probably gonna talk more on this topic in future videos, but yeah. So yeah, uh, I forgot to mention the main difference, in my opinion, between a meltdown and a shutdown is that during a meltdown, you kind of just express all of this energy that you can handle. So you just get rid of it. That's why after experiencing a meltdown, you usually feel so exhausted. And during a shutdown, you actually just stop expressing any energy. You just quit giving out energy for a while so that you can recover. That's why it kind of feels like a major depressive episode when you close in and you don't let anybody else. But anyway, both of them are related to energy. And for me, for example, because I think I rarely get depressed, and on the contrary, I experience a lot of anxiety, even though anxiety can also lead to a shutdown. But my anxiety very often goes into an angry mood, and anger is very closely related to a meltdown. So this anger comes from when there is so much stimulation that I just cannot handle the energy that is rising up in me, so I kind of expel it. And I know that actually meltdowns can be very hard on your heart. And I don't know, as much as I try to experience them less, because I know they're very bad for the heart, it's really hard to do it. That's why I try to focus more on the recovery process, to some extent on the prevention. But yeah. And as of shutdowns, I think they're also related to like lesser activity of your immune system, and that's how they are related to depression as well. So again, recovery is very important so that you go out and do stuff and don't feel so closed in yourself. That's it for now. Thank you guys for listening, and may peace be with you.